Yikes. Sweet. The circle. Now we're going out with David today. And he's really smart. A retired reverend. This is a tricky little maze you got here, mister. These back to the Druids.
Oh, before that. It's ancient. This one's Crete.
Crete, as in Greece?
I was still finishing my seminary stuff out in Alexandria and looking for a job.
So when you finish seminary, is it like you're going around and interviewing, or is it a placement, or?
Well, it was the good old boy network, and I'm a good old boy. I know how to do that.
If you're going to be a reverend,
What?
this is a good one to be at.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I took all this for granted.
It's a special place to work, man.
It was fun. It's pretty much theater.
The big show.
This is there. It's a big church for the big show.
So you came out here one day, and there were holes in the cemetery.
Yeah.
And what were these people doing?
They were looking for the Shakespeare first folios that they alleged were somewhere hidden in there.
So you have people from California who are just digging up a cemetery.
Yeah.
Interesting. The Da Vinci Code.
Very much.
That's awesome. It's almost 11. That's pretty cool. It works, Dave.
What does?
The sun.
This is my favorite one. Dear slaves in Jesus, united to him by faith in the grace of a Christian life, all that was more than Mrs. Ann Burgess, once the tender and affectionate wife of the Reverend Henry John Burgess of the Isle of Wight. She died 25th December 1771, giving birth to an infant daughter who rests in her arms. Here she awaits the transporting moment when the trump of God shall call her forth to glory, honor, and immortality.
So she is in here
She's in here.
with her dead daughter in her arms.
Mm-hmm. My favorite stone.
And the custicize.
These are
This is
Martha+Washington's two
Martha+Washington's.
children. It's kind of remarkable. They were.
I think that's before she married George.
Yeah.
Is that where the kids, Martha+Washington?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right here. These two. This is Francis
Daniel.
and Daniel.
Little boys.
Is there a date on those?
Probably.
See how hard they
You're
them
her age. So Martha's kids before George.
Right. I did 2 funerals in this plot. I can't remember what the other one is. I miss her. She stays with me.
They don't make them like these anymore.
The older tabletops came from England because there wasn't any native stone coming.
So these were imported
Confederates.
everywhere. The rebels. What was the original intention of these tabletop burials? Was that to bring them out later, to seal them, keep robbers away?
No, it's just a style.
Okay.
The history of burial is a whole collection of stories all by itself. Here's the outline of the 17th century building.
Okay.
It's right here.
That was a small church.
It wasn't very big, but it was prior to having anything happen here in town. This is probably 1735 Harrop Plantation, so-called, and this is where Mr. Jefferson studied law.
Really?
Yeah, it's got a ghost.
Did you say a ghost?
I sure did. It's listed on the places in Virginia that have ghosts. One of my favorite things to do was, this is a grating that you can't see from downstairs, but it's for the air conditioning you need, was to stand here and talk to the guides that are downstairs. And there was this one lady named Mrs. Sneed, Lucy Sneed. Oh, it's locked. Oh my, the insurance company's got to it. Sorry about that.
Bummer. This is cool though.
Yeah. And I used to stand up here and talk to her.
So you could whisper down to them and know when you're up there?
Yeah, I would say, she quoted me when I had forgotten. She says, one day I stood up and said, Lucy, this is God. She was...
You're a troublemaker, man.
Yeah, I did a lot of that.
So the shell of this building is
1711. No, 1711.
There are remains of a church that's...
No, that's elsewhere. The wings were added. Let's see if I can remember how all it works. The body of the church, the long part came first. The wings were added on when the capital moved from Jamestown to Williamsburg in 1699, and to accommodate the two sittings of the House of Burgesses per year. There wasn't enough room. Everything on an average Sunday, there was just what was down here was enough. And usually the ladies sat on this side because it's warmer, and then the gentlemen sat on that side. And they would bring foot warmers and hot soap stones from home and put them in the pew, close the door, that kept the drafts out. These are cut down pews. These aren't really as tall as they probably were. The ones, again, at Christchurch, Lancaster, are tall.
Huh.
But the main thing was the sermon delivered from the high pulpit, and communion was seldom. And so that the pulpit was the feature, and you could have high box pews on a pulpit, and nobody's. It worked.
Why the high box pews?
Just to keep drafts out.
Okay. Yeah. Eastern+State+Hospital Cemetery.
The first hospital for the insane in the country. And in fact, one of those houses I pointed out before, where I used to go drink iced coffee, still had the apothecary jars from the original state hospital.
Oh, wow.
With medicine in it.
Well, at least they have their names. Celebrating their dignity. Suffering of inner pain, confusion, and despair. Thank God they have their names. What do you think the major illness was among these people in the asylum?
I don't know, they didn't have names for it. They doped them up and I don't know. I don't have a feeling for that. I could ask, next time I see Dave Purble, I'll ask him.
That's a huge facility.
So where do you think you are now with your faith?
You're getting me into a long belief is how we structure it because we think we need to. Belief is another matter. That's all about thinking and articulating, saying stuff. And that's how you gather a crowd, because everybody's kind of anxious. So anxiety produces religious moments for people and opens up possibilities of faith. But faith is the given emptiness of all it is. It's just all this exists without any context and without any cause-effect. It's all about quantum movement, and it has no real meaning except that which we give it. No real structure, and it's infinite. But it makes us very uncomfortable because we don't have the capacity to live it. Did that answer the question, sort of?
Yep.
Okay.
Repeat that one more time. Faith is the...
Substance of things unseen.
I like that.
Letter to the Romans.
Standing alone in the farmland of Gloucester, Virginia, is an historic place unlike any other. Rosewell was once the grandest mansion in Virginia's tidewater, and the home to 3 generations of the Page family. Man Page the First, who began Rosewell in 1725, Man Page the Second, who completed his father's dream about 1737, and John Page, friend of Thomas Jefferson and 3-term governor of Virginia. Rosewell passed through 3 other families before a disastrous fire destroyed it in 1916.
Creepy.
Yeah, it's gotta be creepy. Otherwise it's not fun.
I really like old fireplaces.
Used to make bricks on the site. Somewhere there's a brickyard.
Cool. I do have terrible luck though.
How come?
Every time I videotape old ruins, they collapse. And I end up having some of the last footage of places. I've had that happen 4 times now.
Impressive, isn't it?
That's not shabby. And to build a house on that scale back then, geez. You know that Jefferson originally wrote subjects. And then he scratched it out and replaced it with citizens.
Oh.
Yeah.